Hey guys, Sherm here, and today I'm going to be testing the totally stable Hennessey Venom F5 in the Hot Wheels expansion in Forza Horizon 5. I'll also be talking about a bit of Hot Wheels stuff in general too, since I didn't make a dedicated video about it. I am using an S2 class tune today by Hennessey, and the Asphalt 9 decal for this car is by Neon Fi. Please consider subscribing if you have not already, and be sure to check out my Furum Clips channel, as well as my Furum TV channel, as well as the Purple Team Discord. You can find the links to those down in the description, and I hope you enjoy these races. So the Venom is one of the final cars that you'll probably get while going through the Hot Wheels expansion. To get it, you have to either drive on all 170 something roads, or discover them I should say, in the expansion, or you can buy it on the auction house from usually 5 to 6 million credits if you do a buyout, which is what I did since I didn't want to go hunting for all of those roads. I'll hopefully get that eventually though. I recently made a video about the Brabham BT62 in Mexico, which is another car that you do get inside the Hot Wheels expansion, so definitely check that out if you haven't yet. The Venom is almost like the opposite of the Brabham. We tested them both in S2 class. The Brabham is a much more handling focused car with less about the top speed, and it's just very good for circuits and Mexico in general. The Venom, on the other hand, is absolutely terrible in Mexico because its handling is very bad for an S2 class car. It only has around 2.5 lateral Gs. The handling stat of 1.38 is one of the highest that I could find in any tune for this car. I pretty much chose the tune that had the highest combination of handling and speed. This was the only real one I found that had a 1.38 handling stat, as well as a top speed of over 300. And I do have to say, for being a rear-wheel drive tune, it doesn't actually skid out much at all. It almost drives like an all-wheel drive car, which I was very happy about. It was relatively easy to drive, I would say. The biggest issue was mainly just the turns, and even though you can see here, it turns okay, and there aren't a whole lot of super tight turns in Hot Wheels, thankfully. Occasionally you'll come to a 90-degree turn or something that you do struggle to get around. Now, one thing I do want to note about the Hot Wheels expansion in general is that in a lot of cases, wall riding is actually a great way to get around turns without losing too much speed, as long as you don't wall ride for an extremely long length of time, because that will slow you down more. But for some turns that just have the basic sides here and not like the barriers for the sides, which slow you down a lot more because they're more jagged, you can actually get around them a bit quicker, like Meaty is doing right up there. And as you can see, he was able to get around a little bit better than I did. However, sometimes you do risk spinning out afterwards, and that is what happened to Memer Boy, I think. Yeah, this session was quite crazy. This first race here, I just knew I had to put at the beginning of the video. But yeah, the Hot Wheels expansion, overall, I have to say, I've had a lot of fun with it. The Venom is the first car that I have properly tested in the Hot Wheels expansion because it is a much more top speed oriented, I guess, area than the main Mexico place. Because even the circuits, which this one actually is, this is the twin loop circuit, I believe, even this circuit is fairly top speed oriented, and as you can see in a lot of cases, I'm able to get up to like above 250 or so miles per hour on some of these straights, which you don't normally do in Mexico on circuits. Just in case some of you guys don't have the Hot Wheels expansion, I will explain a bit about it. Pretty much, there's 3 islands with like this hub in the center that everybody starts at, and the way you progress through it is you start in, I believe, C or B class, don't remember which, but then you complete a bunch, like 5 or so races that get unlocked for those classes, and some speed traps and stuff too, and you gain medals, and when you get a certain number of them, you then unlock the next class of car, and you do those races, and you go on until finally you get up to S2 class. It's actually a pretty fun progression system. I've gotten through all of the S2 races and everything, and I really enjoyed the fact that it almost forces you to do all of the stuff like the, the speed traps and the jumps and everything on Hot Wheels, so you kind of just get to explore the whole thing while going through the campaign. I think that's really cool. I'm getting pretty close to unlocking the Goliath, which we will actually see as the next race in this video in a showdown mode, which in case you guys haven't seen that yet, I will explain it once we get there as well. But this Hot Wheels expansion is pretty much everything I wanted it to be. I know some people were a little bit disappointed with it, but overall, the engagement and everything seems to be pretty high with it, and I'm very happy that they decided to bring it back from Forza Horizon 3, which was the biggest reason why I played Forza Horizon 3. I think I have more hours in the Hot Wheels expansion of 3 than I do even on the mainland. Because you guys may have heard of this before, but when I was a young kid, I used to be very much into Hot Wheels cars. I didn't really have many of the tracks and stuff, but I would play with my brother with the cars and we'd like race them and whatnot, which was a lot of fun. So it kind of is a bit of nostalgia seeing this in one of the racing games that I now play and get to share with you guys. And after 3 pretty crazy laps, we finally come into the finish line neck and neck with Meaty. And next up, I'm going to be showing you the showdown race that we played on the Goliath. So basically the way showdown works, if you haven't seen it before, is cars that are in higher classes have to wait in order to start, and the amount of time they have to wait is dependent on how many classes lower the cars ahead of them are. Like B class goes first, and maybe like a minute later A class goes, and then S2 class a minute or two later. And this was just a 1-lap race here, so it won't be super long. But yeah, this is the Hot Wheels Goliath track. I believe there was one guy in A class who, Tangram, who went first about a minute and a half before I did. And then one person as well is in X class who I believe is behind. This turned out to be more of a relaxing race set at dusk, so you'll get to see how this track looks at nighttime, and I hope you enjoy. So as we come to the end of the race, I can see Tangram up there on my map pretty far ahead. Unfortunately, I was not able to catch up to him before the finish line, but I did have a good battle with Flame for a lot of the race. For my general review of this car, I'll just say it is definitely focused on top speed. If you want to use it, mainly use it on the Hot Wheels expansion, find a good handling tune, and don't use it on Mexico, and you'll be happy. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like the video if you have enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt, Forza, Minecraft, and other games content. And I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!